World of Tanks has been around since 2010 when it was first released in beta to the Russian servers. The game has seen many content updates come and go. Since the game has had so many tanks come and go as well, it is easy to forget the tanks that were never actually added in the game but were teased. And I'll split this up into different nations. The nation and the timestamps for these nations are here. So we'll have France, Germany, Britain, USA and Russia. Firstly, the French tanks. Now, the French have a lot of tanks that are no longer in the game or didn't even make it. And this is an example of that, this first one. The AMX-13 F11 is a modification of the AMX-13 with a Panhard EBR turret. The vehicle wasn't an autoloader and was actually planned for a second or third medium tank branch, which would be non-auto-loading medium tanks. This would include the Somua S35, Lorraine G1L, Renault G1R, AMX-13 F11 and the AMX-30 tanks. Now obviously that line was scrapped. Next up we have a very weird tank and one that I wish was actually in the game, and this is a premium self-propelled gun. The ACL 135 SPG is an SPG based on the Char D1 and was a premium low-tier SPG in the French tech tree. Now for heavy tanks, there are two models for heavy tanks which aren't in the game. Now these are the FCM F1 and the 2C BIS. Coming up next is a tank destroyer for the French, which is the Panzerjäger R35, one that was a premium tank. And the final tank which has a model is the AMR P103. Now other tanks that didn't make it to the game in the French tech tree that do have icons is the H35 Werframen 40, the AMC 35, the Lorraine G1L and the Lorraine 37L AMC. Coming up next we have German tanks. Now there's a couple tanks with models in this list, and that is only the E10 and the Sturmtiger. The E10 was claimed to be a prop, as in it was unplayable. However, it's interesting to state that the E10 was planned to be a tech tree tank. And next up is an interesting model for a tank, and that is the Sturmtiger. Although it was never shown in the game properly, it was available through being an Easter egg in the old map called Velocci on PC and Vineyard on Blitz. There's also the Nuberfahrzeug, which was seen in the ASAP 8.9 video in October 2013 and was never seen again after that. I wonder why. Now in addition to this, there is also the Brumbarr, which has an icon but is not in the game. For the Brits, there's actually no tanks which are no longer in the game or were planned but were never implemented that have models. However, there are ones with icons, and that's the Stuart VI, the A7, the Ram 1 and the Matilda I. For the same as France, America did actually have a lot of tanks, as well as Russia as well, which didn't make it into the game. One of the more unique tanks in this was the M1921 tank, and in addition to this there was actually a whole host of tanks which were like the M1921 which never made it in. Now this tank was shown in the April 2013 video about American tank history, and it's shown that it actually had a tank model, but it was never implemented into the game. Same with this one, the T-24 tank destroyer, a plan for a premium tank destroyer from around 2011 to 2012. This would have been added at the same time the American tank destroyers would be added, but as a premium tier 5 tank. And another fun fact is that in 2012 the Hellcat was actually meant to be in two different tiers and two different variations. Instead of the now tier 7 T25-2, there would have been the M18 90mm at tier 7. Now this you may know as today as the Super Hellcat. There was also a whole host of low tier tanks in the early tech tree concepts. A couple examples were the Christie tanks. They were planned, but then they were not added because there is a low demand for low tier tanks in this game. Other American tanks include the M1919, the M1932, the M1931, the M1935, the M3A3 Stuart, the Chiha, the M4A2 Sherman USMC, the Chi-Ri, the M4 M26, and the T88 HMC, which was a Hellcat with a derp gun. And finally, we have the Russian tanks. Now you would obviously guess that because this is a game that is based in Belarus, and Russia was the first tech tree in the game, that they would have a whole host of lost tanks, and that is technically true. The most popular of these is the T-35, a giant tank which would have been at tier 4 at best. The tank was never added due to the lack of a multi-turret mechanism, and because multi-turret mechanisms will not be in the game in the future, this tank will never be added into the game. There are also the T-19, the T-24, the T-46-5, which were in old tech tree concepts for the game. Other Russian tanks include the RBT-5, the T-4, the T-5, the T-24, the Gaz-75, the IT-45, the Su-76BM, ZIS-30, and the SG-122. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was my first time doing a video like this regarding, you know, tanks that never made it into the game. I got a lot of my information from For the Record and from the Wargaming wiki page, which shows upcoming tanks as well as tanks that have icons in the game. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see some more like this, and there are some tanks that I missed out, maybe I'll do a part 2. And if you do have tanks that weren't added in the game, let me know in the comments below. I'm always wanting to see new things for World of Tanks content. And then anyways, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like and subscribe. And other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day.